Yo guys, what's going on? Lucky Cheese 7 is back again to give you guys Dead Rock Chapter 12 live stream discussion slash review, which is actually kind of interesting how I tackle a stream for chapters 8 through 11, and on the same day, before I even start the stream, chapter 12 drops. And realistically speaking, I could have also just talked about chapter 12 in the same stream, but I decided not to talk about 12 in that stream because I feel like it would have made more sense for me to just tackle chapter 12 by itself. And especially because 8 through 11 was all volume 3 content. This chapter, volume chapter 12 is the start of volume 4. So when you look at it from that avenue, from that perspective, it's like, well, okay, it would make a little bit more sense why you would approach it in that manner, if you will. But having said that, let's go ahead and dive right into chapter 12. So we get this nice, beautiful cover page with Mikoto with some food and some corpses right behind her. Chapter title is called White Calamity. And we see Bren in like his big old like divine punishment form. It's like been intimidating for sure. You see Yakuto, you see Frey, see Raizen, like they're all like ready. They're like, okay, like this shit is no joke. We gotta do whatever we can. Like even like Raisin's like pointing out like, hey, well, why we gotta fight the vice principal? And Honey's like, we don't have a choice. He's going after us. Are you stupid? To which then you get Yakuto saying, can I win with only the power of my right arm against Demon Teacher Bren? And then you got Chaco, aka Zelecia, saying, looks like I gotta fight in pretty girl mode. And off in the corner, you see Mikoto, like, just saying, oh my, you are cute. And then, of course, you got Bren, like, delinquent students are a pain in the neck. I'll just kill you. This is education. Killing students, huh? In the form of education, no less. Kind of amusing, actually. He picked up a tree? That's what Hani says. And then Bren directs the tree in that direction. Hein dodges. Mikoto dodges. And he's still like just sending like a huge like host of trees. You got Zelecia just trying to cover herself from getting attacked. Same thing with Yakuto when he calls out the Frey, and she's like, okay. And she uses Blazing Fist of Obliteration. It's actually a really, really cool panel shot, too. Very reminiscent of Natsu in this instant, for sure. It's a very Natsu like thing to see. And I mean that in a good way. Real good way. But you see what's happening, that catches Bren's attention. And then you got Zelecia saying, Black Magic Song of Destruction. Then you got Honey, Thunder Impact. And Bren's like, those won't work on me. And Honey's like, wait, what? And he uses his hand pretty much. The same method he used against Hein back in chapter 10, same method over here. He uses that, crushes, and then, well, what it looks like he's about to crush Chaco and Hein, but not Hein, Honey by the looks of things. And Frey's like, Chaco, Honey, and she's like, ow. And then, of course, you got Honey, who's like wrecked to pieces again. It's like, what unbelievable power. And she's like, you're broken again? To which you got Raizen saying, with guys like this, you usually got to aim for the legs. I mean, he's not wrong, considering like how massive this guy is. Yeah, using the legs might actually be super effective right now. I'm gonna just say that. It's a super effective tactic to just go for the legs. Yeah, without a doubt. But even then, like you see what happens. Cause he jumps like almost instantly. And Raizen's like he flew? And essentially just jumping in the air. And like I said, that sends Raizen off. Yakuto and Frey are like trying to hold still. And then Mikoto's like, it's my turn. Undead army. And look, I've been saying this since chapter one, but anytime Mikoto pulls some shit, it's really awesome. Like she's like really, really interesting. And just how she like uses her powers, it's amazing. Like you got like her like undead corpses and everything. Just be like, all right, you know what? I gotta pull off my skills too. And Bren's still going in with like just one giant fist. And you see like the sweat that's on Mikoto's face. And Yakuto saying like watch out. He ends up saving her. And you again, you just see like how kind of shocked she is. She's like, "Oh no, my sweet little corpses!" And then Yakuto again continues on with Raizen, like, "Please use your sword to throw me at him." And Raizen's like, "Wait, what? If I can reach his face?" And Raizen's just like, "You know what? Yeah, let's go for it. Here, go get him." And Yakuto, going straight for the face, straight up. Bren's like super confused as to what's happening. And Yakuto's like, Black Dragon's Fist of Obliteration. And even then, like, Bren's like not phased. He's like, that won't work on me. Using his hand, no matter how many of you students band together, you're still no match for a vice principal. And again, Yakuto throws inside. Raizen goes like this guy. I'm the vice principal. Kyoto, teaching head. Teaching head. Well, what does that mean? I have no idea. Raizen goes on to say there's no way we can beat him. Yakuto says if we can't beat him, we definitely won't be able to beat God. Zelecia says, but running is our only option here. Then you got Frey saying, and Hani got shattered again. And Mikoto's kind of the one to point this out. She's like, interesting. The teaching head. Almost in a sense of saying, like, we got to go for the head. But you see Bren like pulling out like the gate that they kind of passed through initially with like no ease. And Raizen says he picked up that level gate we saw. He starts laughing, starts to aim it at the floor, and as that happens, there's like a bright light that like just starts to like imbue out into the air. And he's like, what's happening? Oh, the seal wizard, Magoo Magee. She must have sealed that gate. Wait, what does she seal away? And what comes into the sky? This majestic being. I mean, let's be real. On first glance, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people thought this too. Looks like freaking Shenron. it looks very, very similar to Shenron. And I mean, can't blame Hero for that. Because what thing from an anime or manga did not get inspired by Dragon Ball? I'm just saying. But I saw this, like, I literally saw this and thought, yo, this is freaking Shenron. Like, a white, majestic Shenron with, like, 3, 4 wishes. Uh, Toriyama, wherever you are right now, first of all, rest in peace. And number two, you're probably, like, happy seeing with what's going down. Let me just say that. But no, you see this? Dragon starts roaring, kind of like does a whole blast to the whole forest that shocks Yakuto and Frey. Even Bren's like shocked too, like, wait, what the hell? Like, what exactly did I just unleash? Honey's like a white dragon, not blue eyes, not that white dragon, but you know. Then you got Raizen saying, "Hey, now we got two monsters to fight," which I think it's kind of funny. That Mikoto also says, "But it's majestic," and this kind of ties back into the chapter title because Bren says a white calamity from level 20, 20 not 27, 2007. What is it doing here? And this is when we kind of get the reveal. I sealed it away because it was dangerous. How will you make up for releasing it? And essentially, it's Magoo Magee. Like, the person we thought that was kind of like pinned to the door, dead? Not the case. Magoo Magee ain't dead. She's still very much like breathing, alive and whatnot. And then that kind of shocks everyone. Like, what? You're here? But of course, you got Zelecia like being like super cheery, like Magoo Magee. Heinz, like, it's not Hein. Raizen's like, you're alive? Frey, but we saw your dead body nailed to the door. Mikoto, I don't recall turning you into a zombie. And Magoo Maggie just says it very, very simply. It's actually not that hard to comprehend. She says, I can at least make a magical double of myself. What do you think I am? Some spring chicken? I've lived hundreds of years. Take responsibility for what you did. And you see how thrilled, or not well, thrilled, like relieved, happy with how Yakuto is, like when he's smiling. And he like immediately like latches onto the white calamity, the white dragon, right? I'll seal it away again. And then they scream Yakuto. And Magoo Maggie's like, you aren't even a seal wizard, you little whippersnapper. Well, what can you do? And I think it's interesting how you have Zelecia being the one character that's like kind of concerned. She's like, don't tell me. He's going to use the power of his curse. And Raizen's like, his curse? Remember how he turned into a black dragon before? That was the power of his curse. And this is something we didn't really know about until just now, which I think says a lot about stakes for the story. Zelecia says he got it in exchange for his own life force. And again, going into further explanation here, the Black Dragon Root didn't give him the power to turn into a giant dragon. He got it himself. And that says so much. That really does say so much because when you think about it, it's like, whoa, he has the Black Dragon Root, and then within those roots, you can. It's like with those roots of the Black Dragon, you can turn into a giant dragon. Now we find out that that's not exactly the case. Turning into one of those dragons is in exchange for life force. And that says a lot. And like I said, that really, really says so much for what's happening. Yakuto goes on to say, I'll seal you away inside my body. And Raizen's like kind of shocked and like, wait, what? And Mikoto, is he crazy? Magoo Maggie says, no, it's too dangerous. And like once again, you have sweat, massive sweat falling down Zelecia. And she's like, if your curse gets any worse, you'll die. And again, Bren, still like super stunned, super shocked, like, I cannot understand what's going on. Like this is too much, even for me, the vice principal. I'm trying to like comprehend this. Like what? Give me. This is what Yakuto says. And you see Frey, Raizen, Mikoto, Magoo Magee, and you see just like how excited Yakuto is. He's like, "Give me your power. I don't care if I lose my life." And he uses the power of his right hand, and he absorbs the white dragon, and you get this beautiful, I mean, super beautiful shot of like the dragon, essentially with what it looks like Acnologia, and it's like all like, it's white, it's majestic, right? Instead of like the coat of its skin being like all dark, it's actually a lot more brighter, a lot more like what Mikoto said, majestic. Except for the one part of his right hand, which is obviously still like dark, and that comes from what he had before. And Honey's like, Yakuto, is that you? Bren, once again, super confused, like, I have no idea. Like, how am I supposed to deal with that? That's what? Essentially, that's what happens when you deal with someone from the Black Dragon room. I'm just saying. That's what happens. And like I said, it's a shock. Don't get me wrong. It very much is a shock to see what's happening. Man, but we gotta keep this going, okay? Because as cool as it is just to witness this, Magoo Maggie says a cross between a black dragon and a white dragon. Again, not red eyes black dragon, not blue eyes white dragon. Even though that is something people want to see, is like a cross fusion between those two insane legendary dragons. We get this. Magoo Maggie saying that's the legendary dragon mentioned in the creation records of the demon world. It's a cross, right? It's not just an ordinary black dragon. It's not just an ordinary white dragon. It's a cross. So what Yagato essentially just did is something that was like within like ancient times, if you will. The legendary dragon mentioned in the creation records of the demon world. The black and white dragon. And that is where we leave off with this chapter. Chapter 12, where we like end off right here. And again, as the start of volume 4, this is amazing. Okay. This is honestly amazing. In terms of like plot progression, like from getting, because it's like, okay, yeah, we got introduced to Deep Forest last chapter. This chapter we're still kind of there. So it's like, okay, we're still kind of stuck in the same location, but we've gained a few things from this chapter. A, just because you have the roots of the Black Dragon, that does not mean you become a dragon. You gain that power in exchange for your own life force. And knowing that, like I've been saying, does showcase some stakes. It's like, oh shit. Now, could there be a way for that to be undone? Yeah, the possibility is there. I'm not gonna like outright say, oh yeah, no, there's no way you can outdo that, but I think it's interesting that we're going in this direction. And again, I'm not super surprised that Yakuto, the second he sees the dragon, he's like, oh, okay. Well, if I can't use the powers of my own dragon abilities that were taken from me from before, I'm gonna just have to get a new one. And like I said, it's cool seeing like the squad there, like all taking a stance, like just trying to do what it takes. Okay, you had Frey trying, you had Raizen trying, Mikoto trying to. Same thing with Zelecia. Zelecia did great too, and then I'll give Honey an effort for trying, for sure. Even though once again, he kind of got smashed to pieces, and I do feel bad for the guy. I really, really do. But even so, I think given with where we are currently at with this chapter and the situation that Bren's in, because Bren, I mean, this chapter starts off, he's mad cocky as hell, okay? Second, this dragon shows up, and the second Yakuto, you know, merged with it and became the legendary dragon within the records of essentially the demon world, the black and white dragon. I mean, there's only one nitpick I have. I think Hero could have given it a different name for sure. I mean, no, the Dragon of Twilight would not really sound as cool, but the white and black dragon. Let me think of what other names I could come up with. I mean, yeah, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe you could have called it the Yin and Yang. Oh, dude, the Yin and Yang dragon. That has a nice ring to it. If Hero if they had just said this is the Yin and Yang dragon, oh, I'm not gonna lie, that shit sounds kind of fire. But I mean, the white and black dragon's okay. It's okay. Not the best name, but it's all right. But as far as like my rating on the chapter goes, it's an amazing chapter of Dead Rock. Again, the only negative I would say, again, Honey being kind of like dusted. That's that's my only gripe. Like it is funny when he does kind of get destroyed. It's like, oh man, again. But this time I'm kind of just like, come on, Hero. Like, give Honey at least just one thing to do. Just something. He did try. I will give Honey this. He did try to do something. Even if he did kind of end up in the same place, it's like, well, shoot, I I'm back in this state once again. And all like I said, big highlight for me when it comes to chapters, just learning. Okay, well, the big highlight for the chapter, like I've been saying before, learning a little bit more stuff from Zelecia about the dragon root. How it's not just that, if you're from that clan, if you will, you can automatically turn into a dragon. No. That comes from a offering of sorts, exchanging your life force to become the dragon. That's it. So the more Yakuto does this, the more it's gonna like affect him in the long run, which that makes me curious. Like, is Hero gonna go in a direction where, and I'm not just saying like Haru, where Haru does technically, again, spoilers for Raid Master, but Haru does technically go out in Rave Master, technically speaking, before he's brought back to life. But that does make me wonder if we're gonna go in that direction where Yakuto takes on God. He is able to prevail, but it ends with his sacrifice because of like his overuse of the ability. That is, I'm just wondering because it is within Hero's ballpark to do. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but to keep him like permanently gone would be fascinating to say the least. Though, like I said, maybe there's a way you can bypass this, and that is kind of what I'm anticipating. Is that okay? Maybe there's a way you can bypass something like that, and as long as it makes sense, I'm fine with that. I honestly am, but it just really depends on what direction we're going to go with this. And as far as where we go with this next chapter, for Dead Rock, I do see us like concluding this fight, or at the very least being super close to concluding the fight. Whether or not Yakuto has like full control does leave me kind of curious. Now, again, we're left in a state of a revelation that what Yakuto is right now is a legendary dragon, only just referenced by Magoo Magee. We don't know what the white and black dragon actually entails. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We don't know about that. We really don't. And I think we're going to dive into that next chapter. I really do. And also, the revelation with Magoo Magee still being alive makes sense. I'm definitely going to say that does make sense. Does it kind of hurt the chapter in a way? Kind of, sort of, but when you take into account of like how old she is and given her status, it does make sense within the context of the story. And for that, it does lead them closer to, one, undoing the seal and figuring out a way to take down, like the ultimate enemy in this case, which is God Himself. But with that being said, you guys, that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this live stream discussion slash review on Dead Rock Chapter 12. Again, let me know what you guys thoughts were on the chapter. How did you feel about it? How do you feel about the revelation about, the dragon transformations actually being something that occurs when you trade in some of your life force? And the white and black dragon, like, where do you guys think we're gonna go with that? And again, how long do you guys think we're gonna be in for this fight? Again, I'm anticipating we're gonna be really close to wrapping this up, but we'll see. We'll have to see. With that being said, you guys, that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this live stream discussion slash review on Dead Rock. Let me know what you guys thought on the chapter. What was your favorite part about it? Did you have any gripes with the chapter? And aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Lucky G7. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Dead Rock, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.